Hey, if you guys want to have that lifestyle, that 9 to 5 lifestyle that you could do from anywhere in the world, y'all get with virtual assistant Mimi, learn the ropes, become a virtual assistant, and now you being of service to somebody else.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Caliph Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
Hey, you guys, this is We Got Problems, where we discuss solutions. I'm Curtis G. Martin, and I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown.
Hey, everybody.
My second co-host, Caliph Johnson Sr.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
And we got a special guest in the house tonight, Miriam Smith, a.k.a. Mimi. Mimi, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Hey, so before we get started, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Yes. So I'm Mimi Smith, Miriam Mimi Smith, also known as Virtual Assistant Mimi. And I assist businesses and individuals in completing tasks and projects that they may not want to do or may not know how to do. So by doing so, I give businesses and people the gift of time. Also, I'm fluently bilingual in Spanish and English.
All right, cool. So how did you actually become a virtual assistant?
Okay, so several years ago, approximately 2016, I was working in the event marketing industry. I was driving box trucks across the country, setting up events, sometimes working conventions and trade shows. And during my downtime, I was trying to, find something to do. So I got on on a gig app and started out with organization. Physically going into people's home offices or homes to do organization. I had one client who asked me if I would be available to assist with a move. At the time, they had homes in Miami, Washington, D.C., New York, and Greenwich, Connecticut. So at first, I thought that they wanted me to physically do some of the moves. And I said, well, I don't know how to go about, billing for, overnights or, multiple days at a time. And they said, no. We need you just to, oversee, the move. And from there, it spinned off to doing virtual work. They had, miscellaneous administrative tasks for me to take care of. And I had that client for approximately 3.5 years. And so I truly enjoy what I do. And that's how I got started with the virtual assistant industry.
What type of person do you think is best suited to be a virtual assistant?
Okay, well, it's definitely going to take someone who who is self-sufficient and can take control of their own time. The difference between doing virtual assistant work versus, let's say, going into an office is that you are responsible for absolutely everything on your own. Making sure that your tasks are lined up for the week with your clients, knowing what time to gauge, not just for the task, but giving yourself a buffer in between. I would say pretty much someone who is self-sufficient, a go-getter, doesn't need someone to be on them in regards to time. When you go into an office, pretty much you have, that type of environment. You have, your tasks that are assigned. You generally have to do it between 9 and 5, and you have to report to someone, which is, your supervisor or whoever. In the instance of a virtual assistant, it's reporting to a client. As a virtual assistant, you are your own business, whether it's, working for yourself or an agency. So,
is it a real high demand for virtual assistants right now?
Oh, absolutely. I would say even before the pandemic, there's so many businesses, as I mentioned earlier, and individuals who have a wide array of tasks that they have to get completed, whether it's because they're overwhelmed and they don't want to do the task, they don't know how to do the task, or they just don't have the time. And in regards to the type of virtual assistant tasks, they can vary from The most popular ones that have come my way are calendar organization, email organization, also social media management is one, developing presentations. There's so many projects available for anyone who would want to become a virtual assistant. What I would say in addition is for someone who's looking to become a virtual assistant is utilize the skill set that you already have. If by chance, you haven't tapped into, let's say being an administrative assistant, touch base with your friends and family. Let them know what your skill set is and let them know, I have this skill set to offer. How can I help you in your business? Okay. In addition to that, continue educating yourself if you're looking to be a virtual assistant. I myself, as a virtual assistant, I'm a member of 2 different organizations. And in addition, I continue educating myself weekly from social media management, from organizing, just because, with technology, everything evolves. So that would be my advice for someone looking to become a virtual assistant. So again, tapping with your friends and family, look into the skill sets that you already have. If there's a skill set that you are looking and open to learn, do that. There's so much money on the table, so to speak, and enough for everyone.
So how do we find work as a virtual assistant, and how do we charge for that, for our services?
So in regards to finding work, in addition to, tapping in with friends and family, utilize social media, make yourself visible, that you're available. In regards to, on what to charge, do research. I would not suggest Fiverr, which is a lot of people tend to go to, to look for virtual assistants. You will definitely get, what you pay for, like from a client standpoint. From a virtual assistant standpoint, I would say for someone who's just starting out, I would definitely not charge lower than 20 to 25. That's just for me. There are people who started a lot lower and that works for them, but that's just my suggestion as far as a rate. In regards to charging as well, you could put package deals together. So for example, you could start out offering 10 hours at a certain amount, for whoever's looking to get a project fulfilled, then go to 20 hours a month, and then 30 hours. The other thing too that I will add is when you're seeking clients, make sure that you are taking on, the number of clients that you're capable of taking on. At the beginning, one might say, well, I want to take on 6 clients. Okay, so if those 6 clients want 10 hours in a month, that's 60 hours plus, your personal life or whatever. So, gauge it and then do your research as far as, what other VAs may be charging with your skill set. And that's my suggestion for that.
So we know in every industry, they have different tools. What's your favorite go-to tool?
My go-to is anything Google related. So Google Sheets, Google Docs, also Canva. I'd say those are my absolute favorites. And the reason I enjoy the Google, anything like in the Google suite, you could say, is because you can convert it to a Word doc, an Excel, PDF or what have you. There may be other programs out there. Those are my main go-to tools. Also, and I mentioned this on a live before, Clockify. I have become a fan of Clockify only because it keeps me on task as far as how much time I'm spending on each project and, how much time even for myself, I'm spending personally, like for self-care or what have you. So anything in the Google Suites, Clockify, and Canva.
With your industry, it can be kind of dangerous, you know what I mean? You're dealing with people's private information and stuff. What are some of the tools that you use to protect yourself?
Oh, as far as security, for my own personal tools that I use, only because I'm so paranoid of fraud, from 2-factor authentication, Google authentication, my password, there is no one password are unique for absolutely everything. In the past, when I traveled, y'all may be familiar with this, put your card into a pump. Sometimes, you become vulnerable to, those fraud attacks, if you want to call. I've become so super paranoid. So that's what I utilize. When it comes to my clients' information, I do use a password keeper, so to speak, to protect their information as well. I'm super paranoid of fraud, so I take all any and all measures to protect myself.
So you mentioned Clockify, and you said that you schedule time and keep up with the time even for self-care. So
Yes.
when it comes to virtual assistants, what hours do you normally work, and what's your availability for your clients like?
Okay. Well, it can vary from virtual assistant to virtual assistant. For my hours, it's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I will sometimes, on occasion, deviate from that and work on a project on weekends. And during that span of time, I make sure to put in projects for my clients. For this upcoming week, for example, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have 2 client projects that I'll be working on, and Tuesday will be a couple of other client projects. So I've already split them up. I already have it on my calendar, on my Google Calendar, and also on my wall calendar. So I just tend to split up the time, and then I'll also allow myself a window in case any urgent matters may come up during that time.
So, speaking of urgent matters, when you're splitting up the time, you have multiple clients. How do you prioritize what gets done first and for who?
Generally, on every Sunday or Monday, I will have a meeting with my clients to identify which projects are priority, what the deadlines are, and according to that, then I will filter them into, when they will be taken care of. So just dependent on their deadline. I also, one of the methods that I tend to use as well that has worked for me just on a focus aspect is a 40-20 method. And what that is the first 40 minutes of every hour, I will work on what is, most important. And then during the last 20 minutes of the hour, of each hour, I'll work on projects that are priority, but not as high priority as those, what I would put a star by.
With that being said, you have a ton of work on your desk. Do you have a team you work with, or do you kind of subcontract some of your stuff off, or do you do everything yourself?
Majority of the projects I complete on my own, but as of earlier this year, I have a small team of 3 additional virtual assistants who do assist with different projects. So when clients do come and approach me and tell me about their projects, perhaps on a discovery call, I do let them know that majority of the projects I will be handling, and anything else will be with the other team members.
What's the best part about being a virtual assistant?
That I could do it from absolutely anywhere. To tell a story, the client that I told you about that I worked for, who I had for about 3.5 years, I was able to be traveling in other countries. And I remember, putting in approximately 4 hours of work in a day for that particular client, who was my only client at the time, and, being able to explore. I do have one image that I had for a while on Instagram, which I intend to put it up as a reminder for myself, but also, to encourage others who want to be virtual assistants. At one point in time, I was in Jamaica for about 3 months, and I would crack open my laptop and I was overlooking the ocean. The flexibility to be able to work from anywhere, the results, hearing back from my clients, that they're pleased, with the projects that I provided for them. But yeah, the main one is, being able to do what I love from anywhere. And I strive to, as things open up and, a little bit more, and when I'm able to do so, to be able to work from anywhere.
So I have a follow-up question to that. You said you had at the time one client.
Mhm.
How do you know when to start getting more clients, or can one client make or break you? Because I remember starting my business, and I actually had to switch reels about 3 years ago and start a whole nother business because a law change, and I lost my best client, which was, I had a couple of clients, but I lost the bulk of my business, and I end up hiring on with my client. So how do you know when to get more clients, or not get caught up in that they kind of running your lifestyle?
Okay. Well, in that instance, when I had just that one particular client, I kept it at that, only because I was working other projects a bulk of the year with the event marketing, the convention industry, and it just worked. Currently, again, utilizing my Clockify, I can identify how much time I have that I can work with. And if I have to go beyond that, I will check in with the team members to see, what time do they have available. So it's a matter of not just checking in with myself, but checking in with my team members to see, what time frame they have available. It hasn't come up yet to where a client has approached me with a project where I've had to turn them away in that regard because of time.
Do you have a accountability partner or a coach or a mentor or anybody?
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's multiple. So there's two groups that I'm in. And then there's one young lady. She's on Instagram as just Annalisa, and we're on a Slack group, and we keep all the virtual assistants keep ourselves accountable as far as what our weekly goals are. Have we revisited, some of our education training, and that particular group keeps me motivated and encouraged.
Do you have a mentor?
I would consider that to be my mentor.
Okay. Okay.
Because we could tap in at the virtual assistants could tap in at any time, with any questions or wins, let's say. So that has been my go-to.
Did you start an LLC or SCorp? Why
Yes.
did you do that one? And is it in a trust?
Okay. I do have an LLC, which I started in 2019. That started not just because of the virtual assistant business, but because I had other business ventures as well. My LLC is the Nomad Associates LLC because, well, I've been a nomad for quite a long time. The pandemic, slowed things a little down as well as some personal matters. To answer your other question, as far as if I have a trust, not as of yet.
When you go into these businesses or these business ventures, do you create business plans and do market research for them?
Definitely with the market research, yes. As in regards to a business plan, I would say it's more traditional, not non-traditional, only because I, just lay the notes out to see, in regards to my time, finances, and yes.
And when doing market research, what's some of the things you're looking for to reach your clients or possible customers?
So normally what I will do is my go-to has been social media as far as for searching for clients, and I will do a search, like, let's say, hiring a VA, seeking a VA, or I will go straight to the type of business that I'm looking to acquire as a client. Look on their website, look on their social media, and then approach them in that fashion.
So you've been doing this for a while now. Would you recommend like college students or young entrepreneurs? Like, is this something that they could easily get into?
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely and highly encourage college students and anyone, looking for something new to even try out. For the reason being that, you are your own boss, okay? And there's flexibility in the hours. You call the shots in regards to, what hours you will be available, to complete, various projects. I highly encourage college students. You don't have to worry about going to clock in, or let's say you have an exam coming up, in a particular week, or a particular school project that you have to work on. Then, I would suggest, communicate with your client that, that particular week, is going to be either a lighter week, or organize your schedule to where you can get your project completed.
Is there a space for young entrepreneurs in here? And do you plan on creating one?
Not at this time. As of recently, one person reached out to me who's already a virtual assistant, but I haven't had anyone reach out as of yet. I am in process creating an ebook that I will be providing. But if there was any, young person or someone who wanted to come into the virtual assistant industry, I would be more and beyond happy to, answer any questions or to help.
So tell me this, do you monitor what other virtual assistants are doing, like their social media pages or their websites, to see what they're offering to kind of tailor your products towards your clients?
Yes, I like to use the word inspiration.
There we go.
Each virtual assistant is going to have, their own specialty, let's say, and their own style, of advertising. So I certainly do research, take a peek at what other virtual assistants may be doing. And, even in the organizations that I'm involved in, we will share, each other's work to get feedback. So definitely.
What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
Two reasons. I absolutely love what I do. And when I was younger, my dad, he always told us, do what you love, and everything else will follow. And that never clicked until, I got older. So um, I just, I love what I do. It comes with ease to me. I get enjoyment. I could lose hours, meaning, I could be working on a few projects and, next thing I know, even though I have my Clockify, they're letting me know, oh, so much time has gone by. I would say I could do it even sleeping and, be happy. The second reason is because it affords one the availability for the flexibility to be able to do it from anywhere at any time.
All right, so do you have an affiliate program where like other marketers can refer clients to you and possibly make money?
Not as of yet, but I will.
Okay, no, that's cool. Because we talk about building a community to where people can help each other and we can kind of push clients around to where they need it, and then other entrepreneurs can actually make money, and then somebody else can actually make a stream of income by referring you. So we'll be looking out for that.
Soon, yes.
Do you have any type of business strategies or coaching sessions? And if you do you have a blueprint where you can teach others how to follow it?
Absolutely. They can definitely contact me either on Instagram at virtual assistant Mimi or sales at virtualassistantmimi.com.
Were there times where you like, oh, I don't want to do this. This isn't going to work. I'm not going to be able to make enough money off this.
I would say at the beginning of the pandemic, I had a couple of clients who we were going to get started. It was in discussion. No contracts or agreements had been signed as of yet. I would say at the beginning, even though everyone was working at home, pros and cons, the reason that my industry, at least for myself, slowed down a little bit at the beginning was because with one particular client where I was going to be his virtual assistant, with his wife having lost her job, she became his virtual assistant. I had to do a lot of meditating, positive self-talk. And I did temporarily during that time do what I had to do as far as, using, gig apps and such. And I would say that would be the only time. There was one other occasion where client also had a shift with their business financially and had to make some adjustments there, but not so much where, I couldn't, recover from it.
So what's the most important thing you've learned in your life?
Do what I love and follow my intuition. Never doubt my intuition.
If you could turn back time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself?
Do what makes you happy.
If you could sit down and have a conversation with someone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
My grandma. My grandma, who I'm also named after, Miriam, only because she gave me so much advice professionally and personally. I would say she was way beyond her time. So if it was anyone, I would say my grandmother.
All right, people always tell us we should save money and invest. What type of things do you invest in and why?
Currently, even though the market's a little wonky, so to speak, it would be stocks and crypto. I just kept, in regards to stocks, even though it's been volatile, I've just left it in there. With the crypto, the reason that I have chosen to invest in crypto is because I have seen the profitability with it. As far as my investments with that, it's been more of, set it and forget it, so to speak. However, I'm in the process of learning and educating myself how to make it more profitable.
So how do you balance family and work life?
Strive my best to stay between the hours that I've placed for myself as far as for work. I tend to keep my phone on do not disturb when I'm with my family. I tend to keep my phone many times put away to be more present with my family.
How do you celebrate your wins?
I share with friends. As far as if it's a financial win, I will invest in myself to, educate myself. That's how I pat myself in the back. Mimi, good job. Now go for more.
How can the people find you? Where can they find you at?
Absolutely. Okay, on Instagram, I'm on Instagram as virtual assistant Mimi. And if you would like to email me direct, you can email me at sales@virtualassistantmimi.com.
All right. So before we close out, do you have anything you want to leave the people with, or virtual assistants, or soon to be virtual assistants, or want to be virtual assistants? Any words of wisdom or advice?
Yes. If this is an industry that you would like to get into, definitely, I encourage you to jump into it. Don't doubt yourself. There may be moments in time where you may have doubt, but use the skill sets that you have. We all have skills and talents that we can utilize, and definitely go for it. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to other virtual assistants, including myself, who may already have been in the game for some time, to ask questions and guide you. I open my doors, so to speak. If you have absolutely any questions, feel free to reach out.
All right, Mr. Caliph Johnson, what do you want to leave the people, my brother?
Mimi, you know what you do for the team. You are an amazing, amazing queen. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. And yeah, just keep rocking out in the virtual world and in the real world and in life in general. Thank you.
And thank you for having me once again. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, Rhonda, what you want to leave the people?
Uh, Look, just like Mimi said, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. The most they can do is say no.
All right, I'm gonna leave the people with, hey, if you guys want to have that lifestyle, that 9 to 5 lifestyle that you could do from anywhere in the world, y'all get with virtual assistant me, learn the ropes, become a virtual assistant, and now you being of service to somebody else, and we can rock it out in this world. This is We Got Problems, and we out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at curtisgmartin247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_. We got problems and we got solutions.